Hotspot got such a good deal, the entire stream couldn't handle it. Alright, so what were we up to when it crashed? We were saying, uh,
You were about to discuss price for information.
that's right.
We were in the
A
process of
price for
discussing.
information, that's what you want. Alright, I say let's do it 10 gold, right? That's some good information price to you.
10 gold.
Have I left you
See.
awestruck, young man?
Well, I'm not well, yes, but additionally, I'm trying to figure out if there's something more valuable than gold we can provide. You know, essentially, imagine this information you're giving us as a hypothesis you'd like us to test. If you do not see us get caught by the guards, you know that you've secured a viable transportation option in the future that you can rely on.
I've got all the transportation all day, don't you worry.
You drive quite the hard bargain.
Here's the deal, if you're going to say things like that and try and shortchange me, I'm going to say 11. You may even not be shortchanging me, but I'm going to say 11 now. Because every minute we're having this conversation is a deal I'm not having with another customer, you know?
I look around. Are there any other customers in the store?
No, there are not.
No need to start raising prices now. I did not say I wouldn't be paying. I don't see the line queuing up behind me just yet. I'm just looking for ways to make myself useful. But if the price is 10 gold, then 10 gold it is. I will hand over the majority of my gold.
I'll pitch in like 5 gold.
Okay, so you split the deal amongst them. It's like, I was expecting a round of haggling, but if 10 gold's what it's gonna be, that's fine with me. Alright, here's the day. You want to get out of the city. You're not gonna get out by the sea. The fishermen are prudent, and they ain't gonna be moving anytime soon. If you get out of the city, I would take the east road. The guards, they don't watch as good as they say they do. Give them a bit of pipe weed or a little bit of the right look, and they'll overlook anything, dear. At least for me.
Oh, thank you. That's very useful information.
Yeah. But if you did get caught, it wasn't hot water that told you. You're just up on your own, eh?
Of course.
Of course. That's the only situation I could imagine where, if anyone asked, we would not recall who you are.
Very good, Diaz. Very good. And she gives Soren a little wink, and she's like, "Right, well, if your ventures go well, make sure to come back, all right?"
We'll be sure to stop by the next time we're in town.
Okay. So you're heading back to the temple now?
Yeah.
Okay. So you make your way back to Drew. And what has he been doing in the meantime?
So Drew has been dutifully reading his scriptures and resting while searching for a couple of rooms that we can all crash in just for a little while until we decide to leave.
Okay. Drew, what do you think of your new garments? You like the longshoreman look?
If it's what gets us out of the city, Drew is all about it. He's stays on task.
Mm-hmm. And good on him too. So the night comes, and from what I understand, that's when you're going to be making your move.
Yeah.
Okay. So with that information, um, how do you go about it?
Well, I think it's fair to note that we want to get out between the hours probably of like 2 and 4 when most people are asleep,
Mm-hmm.
and um, we would have found as each temple as is has made, there are multiple escape routes in these temples in case they are waylaid, and we are looking for one of them in this early morning hour.
Okay. So you're making your little search, and you come across the library, and you notice a paper trail, a literal paper trail of pieces of scrap paper sort of left on the ground, a little bit thrown about. But they form a coherent path, and it leads to one of the bookcases. And underneath one of the bookcases, you can see a piece of scrap paper folded very nicely underneath a large red book.
All right. Well, uh, no time like the present. Drew will simply remove the paper and see if and inspect it and read if there's anything on it.
Nope, nothing on it.
Well,
I'll hold
perhaps
it up.
there's an invisible ink.
Yeah, I'm gonna hold it up to a candle, um, and just see if there's anything written that I can see. I'm not gonna try and burn the paper up, but just looking through the paper with the candle as a backdrop to see if there's anything on it.
You examine it as close as you can, and you find that there is nothing on the paper.
Check the book, perhaps.
Yeah, time for the book. We'll remembering which page that thing was in, we will open the book.
The book doesn't come off the shelf very easily. It's surprisingly heavy and stuck on the shelf.
Uh, this could be our Scooby Doo moment. I will see if there's any mechanism attached to this book.
So yes, you can see that the book is less a book, but more a piece of wood that's been built to resemble a book. And it's very
Yes.
heavy wood too, and it has a chain that sort of attaches into a mechanism in the wall that goes to
Okay.
somewhere you can't see, like
We
a
will
mouse hole.
pull. All right. We will pull the book lever.
Okay, so you pull the book lever, and just like in Scooby Doo, the bookcase moves forward, and you are able to progress. The way down looks dark and wet, but it's definitely a piece of stonework done by Cuthberts. It's very orderly, and it's very well done.
All right. I'll take one of the torches off the wall in the library,
Mm-hmm.
and
I mean, I have dark vision. I can just lead the way.
oh, oh. Well, I hope I don't trip and fall.
It's fine. I'll keep the way clear. I'm afraid a torch might attract attention.
Of course.
And
So
remember,
Drew will put the torch back.
mhm. It shouldn't be the DM's place to say this, but do also remember you have cantrips and things like that.
So Drew is ready to follow Rayrel wherever this place takes us.
Okay. So you get yourselves ready and you head down the tunnelway. It's dark, it's cold, but for the most part, there doesn't seem to be anything too troubling beneath the passageway. And eventually it reaches a dead end, and from your end, it looks like there's a trapdoor to somewhere above.
Okay. I'm going to listen to see if I hear anything on the other side of the trapdoor before I open it.
You don't hear anything aside from the dripping of water.
Okay. I'm gonna carefully open the trapdoor.
Okay. And it leads out to what appears to be a relatively isolated alleyway in the North Ends district.
Okay. So we need to make our way to the East Road from here.
Okay. And how do you go
So,
about that?
do we want to? I think we should do it with a little bit of caution, just because the early hour might look weird for like 3 people to be out on the street at like 4 a.m.
Back alleys are likely the way to go.
Yes. So we'll use the back alleys to get towards the East Road.
Okay. So you make your way through the back alleyways, uh, down and down to the east, and as you can see, you do have a point where there are no back alleyways and you need to cross a main road. And it's being patrolled by guardsmen right now, as the city is under lockdown and there's a curfew. So the main road is up ahead, and it's along the wall. You can either make your way to the dock district, or to the warehouse, or you can try to pass through this area of wall up ahead.
So on the map, we're kind of between the 2 and the 4, it looks like.
You are at the very bottom of the north end on the east part that touches the wall.
Okay. I think just weaving through the warehouse district might be the best bet, rather than going to the dock.
Yes, it's the docks seem a bit out of the way.
Yeah.
Okay. So how do you go about
Um, we'll just wait for break-in patrols and just make our way across the main road carefully.
it? Okay. The main road is a little muddy and filled with potholes and such. So I'm going to ask each of you to give me a stealth check for me.
Okay.
Where are you? There you
I have a 13.
Okay.
10.
Wait, I messed up, apparently. 1 second.
Okay.
Alright. 17.
Okay. So Drew and Rayrel, you get through just fine. But as you're making your way across, you, Soren, you step in a very large puddle and make a loud sploosh sound. And one of the guards who's standing over by the wall area goes to investigate.
So he hasn't seen me yet?
He
He's
has
just
not seen you
coming.
yet. He's just coming. It's dark enough that for any human, it's hard to see right now.
In that case, I will, in the direction he's coming from, I'm going to cast a minor illusion.
Okay.
And I'd like to make a sound and essentially just have two voices screaming at each other like in a fight from
Hmm.
a bit behind him. The range is 30 feet. So kind of in the opposite direction of me.
Okay, so there's no check for that or anything yet.
It's if a creature uses its action to examine the sound or image, they can make a successful intelligence check, and then they know it's an illusion.
Okay, so the noise startles the guard, and he makes his way in the other direction, away from you, and you have time to scamper on through before you're noticed. So you've made your way from the north end to the warehouses?
Yes.
Okay. So what's your plan in the warehouses then?
To weave through to just continue our way to the east road.
Okay. Let me look at that map really quick. That's one of the handouts that's in the chat, so let me take a little peek at that. Where is it? There it is. Okay, so yes, so you make your way into the warehouses. So as you make your way through the warehouses, it's not as populated or well guarded as the north end because of its centrality to the city. It's kind of assumed that it would be the last place that any person trying to escape Hardby would go. So there's not too much resistance in this area. So
All right.
the thing is obviously at any break in the wall there are at least 2 guards posted, sometimes more.
Mm-hmm.
So
Okay.
what is your plan from here then?
Think we might have to charm our way through or bribe. How much gold do we have?
Drew looks down at his pouch and takes out 2 electrum pieces.
Let's see. I have 6 gold and 5 silver.
DM, do you remember how much gold my sleazy cousin took off of me last week for our passage?
I think that was 2.
2 gold? Oh, okay.
Now, do keep in mind that your money is from the city of Greyhawk, and it will betray where you are from, and it will not be quite as valuable here.
Perhaps we try using our words first.
Right. Do we have a plan B for if that fails us? Besides run.
I mean, plan C would be knock them unconscious and run.
Ah.
But let's try to avoid that. I think we should just try chatting first.
Let's do it.
Yep.
Sure.
So we should try to figure out like what's our story first.
Early to rise, early to bed. Looks like we're going to work right now, doesn't it?
Yeah, but usually I think people would go. I mean, we could say we're heading towards Trade Town, but I think we're a little too far south for that.
I mean, Braverell is a bit armed to be, going to work or anything.
True.
We're a bit of a motley sort. I don't know what job we would all share.
What if we're trying to deliver some letters outside of town? Just freelance couriers trying to make a buck.
I was thinking the same. I don't know that they'll. I don't know that the out of town part they'll approve of, but we could tell them that we are freelance couriers, perhaps delivering a message to their compatriots at the East Gate.
That works.
They would at least let us that far.
Remember that the best lies are those that are closest to the truth. We know where we want to go, and I certainly look like I'm working at the docks, and maybe your twos looks are that of guards that have been hired for a shipment coming in just a tad early.
That could work.
Might explain away the armaments.
True. True.
However, I will defer to what you two decide.
We could just go with oh, we're gonna escort an incoming shipment. Does that sound good?
It does not require us to produce papers in terms of what we're delivering.
Good point.
Drew is wise, but not smart.
Yeah.
He knows how to do things, he just doesn't know why they'll work.
All right. Let's have a go at it.
Yeah, let's just give it a shot. You want to take the lead on this, Soren?
I'll certainly try.
All right.
Friends! Try and just wave them down rather than trying to subtly walk up to them.
Mm-hmm. And this is at the warehouse gate.
Yes.
So the guards here aren't, at arms as the other ones. And this one's even smoking a bit of a long pipe as you approach him. Friends? Where you come from?
Come from? We're coming from the docks, my good sir. And your face seemed to betray a friendly demeanor. I apologize for disturbing you. It's a bit dark in town right now. We've been my elf associate and we've been asked to escort this man home from the docks. He was stuck there working late and got stuck past curfew. We're just trying to make our way to the east side of town.
You're trying to get past the gate? I didn't know no ships came in this late in the day.
Oof, not ships. He's been stuck loading and unloading. To be quite honest, it seems to me like they're kind of putting a lot of people just through busy work at the docks to hide the fact that there's not a whole lot coming in with the blockade.
Yeah, all the dock workers are under curfew as well. Why are he up so late, eh?
That's a point of contention with his supervisor, I'm afraid. I don't know what exactly this man here has done to upset him, but the supervisor was not, quote, happy with his performance throughout the day and insisted that he repeat everything no matter how long it takes.
Our supervisor's gonna end himself up in the brig, that's for sure.
Yeah, what can you say? Bosses.
Mm-hmm. What's his name? The boss.
I mean. Oh, what was your boss's name again, friend?
The captain. The captain of the boat we came in on. What was his name again?
Marco?
Marco. I try not to pay too much attention because I'm trying to make a living. And all they want to do is continue to work me into the ground.
If you're from the dock, then which guild are you with? 'Cause you gotta be with one of the guilds down there.
Well, there's lots of guilds down there, but I guess whatchamacallit, the artisans. I'm one of the few that they do trust to bring in their goods
I'm
from the
not
ships.
asking what they are, I'm asking what's the name of the guild.
Nobody tells me nothing. It's the Artisans Guild. That's what I know.
They have guilds for dock workers too, you know.
It's
Yeah, once they pay nicely.
Yes, I lean in. I'm not sure he's ever heard of a guild or a union. I think they're quite taking advantage of it now.
What? Alright. That's a little suspicious. If
I
you
think
ain't
so.
part one of the guilds, then how are you working down at the docks? And his hand is now no longer resting on his pipe, but is now resting on the hilt of his sword.
That's easy. One
Oh
of my
no, there's no need to get
no,
hostile.
I
I'm just
won't.
trying to take this man home.
As as I
One of
mentioned,
my cousins gave me a job under the table. If you want the truth of the matter,
Well, I'll spare
I,
you a few
I
coppers, but I'm not supposed to let anyone through this gate until sunrise.
I'm just trying to do right by my family.
Alright, well, your family needs a father coming home to them. And that father knows the rules round here, I would hope. And so why don't you go back to an inn somewhere? Wait till morning and you'll cross right through.
It was that extra getting the jump on the day's work that was making everything meet.
Listen, that's sad, but that's not my problem, dear. So why don't you head on out and hassle some other man, alright?
So this is where Drew will stand up to his full height,
Mm-hmm.
and you are going to let me through. No man is going to keep me from providing for my family. And I'll intimidate him best I can.
Okay. Give me a check then. Throw one for
Yep.
me.
Roll. Hold on. There it is. Roll 1d20. This is a +5. So 16.
Okay. So the man looks a little taken aback that you would take such a stance out of nowhere. And he kind of spreads his legs on the barrel he's sitting on. He says, Alright, you see this? And he taps a little whistle that's around his neck right now. See this whistle, right? Is if you keep talking like that, I've got to blow it, and nobody wants that. None of us. I don't want that because then I have to fight. The other gods don't want that because we don't want to have to tackle you. You don't want that because you don't want to end in the brig. I have my I have my orders, and you have your orders. And listen, your life's hard right now. I'll spare you a few copper if that's what you need, but I can't let you through.
Well, I guess the only thing to do here is I'm just going to try to. I mean, you know what?
I
I'm gonna let somebody else make the first move if there's a move to be made, since I'm not the fastest.
Soren will try and kind of interject himself so that it's just him speaking with the guard, like almost at a whisper.
Mm-hmm.
Look, friend, I apologize for this man's aggressiveness, but you must understand it's not a matter of money that he stays on that he needs to get through this side of the wall. There's been he doesn't live in the best neighborhood. There have been some local ruffians that have threatened his home, his family, where they live. It's There's nobody currently protecting that location, and that's why he feels the need to get back. He's if we don't get through, he's going to either stand here all night and continue to be a thorn in your side, or I don't even know what he might do, but I promise you that my associate and I will take him right to his house, and he will bother me.
Alright, here's what I'll do for you. Is if you absolutely need to, I'll go get another guard, and he'll escort you to your house, alright? But that's putting my neck out on the line. You see the problem here?
I do, and trust me, I understand. I don't want to be out here this late. This poor man. He's getting stuck at work, abused by his employer, and his family's in danger. I felt obliged to help.
Alright, I'll stick a neck out for you this once, right? But don't cause no trouble. Don't do anything stupid. And please, don't cause a ruckus. I'm begging you here. He takes a long drag of his pipe before standing up. Alright then, let's go. What you got? Up and at 'em, let's go!
All right.
And he pulls the lever on the gate and opens it just enough for you to slip under. And he says, "Now don't let me catch you around here again, alright?"
Absolutely not.
Absolutely.
And Drew will just look at him and whisper, "Thank you."
Okay. No, he nods his head once before going back to smoking on his pipe weed, this time shaking his head slowly. Okay, so you're in the eastern half of the city now. What's the plan from
Okay.
here?
Well, he said he was gonna get another guard to escort us, right?
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
So, so essentially what you notice he does is he puts a pumpkin on the barrel he was sitting on, and he takes a piece of rope and he ties a little dagger to the pumpkin, and then he walks up to you and he's like, "Alright, I'll be your guide, let's go."
Okay. So
Don't
maybe.
got someone else covering the shift.
So is he in front of us or behind us?
He's behind you.
Okay. I lean over to Sword and it's like, perhaps you can create a diversion so we can sneak off? Nothing too big.
Yes. I mean, we did tell him we're going east, so it seems to me that we can walk with purpose in that direction for some time.
Yeah.
I can do noises. I can do small objects. Nothing major.
Probably a noise.
If you
Like a bar fight?
Right. Maybe. I guess as we're walking, I'll keep an eye out on the window, see if any place still has any lights going on, or if there's any taverns even closed that it seems like we're passing. A good place to try and throw some sounds into, essentially.
most of the taverns are in the dock district or in Trade Town. Ebfields is mostly just where people live. Like, on the whole, it's a pretty quiet part of town compared to everywhere else. So,
Except
as
for
you're passing through, you don't see any major institutions that you could throw noise into, or anything that seems like it would be good for causing a distraction to.
What if we just find like a rundown, like not too rundown, but like a semi-abandoned building that's like obviously has no occupants, so we can just pretend we're dropping Drew off there.
Okay. Say that one more time for me.
Like, look for a residential building, but it's like kind of run down, and like maybe someone lives there, maybe someone doesn't, and like we could just pretend like if no one's there, just like, oh, this is it. Thanks for escorting us.
Okay. You do find, as you get towards the edge of it, there's a few like sort of rundown buildings, although rundown in this case meaning nearly collapsed, but they're definitely buildings that you could make the argument for.
Okay. We'll like pass by, like maybe like the third one we come upon that seems acceptable. We'll be like, oh, this is it. Thanks for escorting us. We'll just stay with him until so we can bring him back.
Of course, we'll stay till morning. We wouldn't want to be out after curfew any longer than needed.
Of course.
The guard raises a eyebrow to this, but he takes another drag of his pipe and he's like, all right, I don't believe this is where you live, but it's late, and so you know what, sure. And he walks off.
This guy gets paid minimum wage, doesn't he?
Yeah, probably. Well, so, I mean, a lot of guards back then, you know what I mean. A lot of guards, these aren't really professional people, they're just sort of folks who either are too old or not quite fit for other fields, and so they're just sort of en masse drafted to just sort of watch the piece. So, like, these aren't, you know, the masters of the realm, these aren't professional warriors, they're just dudes.
Yeah. All right.
The guys you see at Walmart after midnight.
Yeah.
Much, yeah. Honestly,
All right.
not too far from, like, private security around here.
Yeah. So we can probably let's like go into the building for like a little bit till we know like he's gone,
Mm,
and then we could try to like make the rest of the way.
Mandy said he didn't even care.
Yeah, but I still want to like keep up the facade a bit.
I got you.
It's as we walk in. It's, I'd planned to do some fake children's voices, make it seem like they were happy. But he's already gone.
mm.
Very little convincing.
Let's see. Well, how long do you stay in the building?
Maybe like
Shoot.
15 minutes.
Okay.
Like long enough for him to like be far enough away to where he can't see us.
Mm-hmm. And you go indoors?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, 15 minutes pass, and, you know, that's about the time it takes to walk back to the warehouse district, and a little bit beyond that. And so you get, 15 minutes passing, and you notice, some torch lights coming towards Ebfields.
Huh.
And in that time, the torchlights get a little bit closer, and you notice that is the city guard, and that there's not one of them, there's 40 or 50 of them.
Oh,
I think we need to like find a back way out of here and run.
are they? Which direction are they coming from?
They seem to be coming from the same direction you came in, yes.
Oh, he ratted us out.
They're walking right up to the front door.
Wow, they mob up
This
pretty deep.
building?
That was fast.
Mm-hmm.
What are
Let's
we?
go.
It's almost as though the city's on lockdown and that they're going to be very quick to respond to any breaches in security.
Did the
Out the back
pumpkin
door.
tip them off?
Praise.
Probably the pumpkin tipped them off. All right. Well, if it's a somewhat rundown building, there should be a back way out of here.
I mean,
Or
there's
even a
a
back window.
yeah, there's a wall that's nearly collapsed, and there's a broken window. So there's plenty of ways to jump out of here if that's your plan.
Yeah.
I think that's our plan. There's no talking our way out of this one.
Is this a single-story building, multiple stories?
It's a 2-story building that was once kind of nice, but it's pretty empty now.
I don't know if perhaps we go up, try and make it across to a different building and go down there.
We can certainly try. I have no qualms against that.
Whatever it is, make your division quickly.
All right. I think we go up and we try to make our way across these buildings and then find our way down elsewhere.
Mm-hmm. So you're gonna make a leap across the roofs, Spider-Man sort of ordeal.
Yeah.
Okay.
Keeping in theme with last episode, we're gonna go with some Spider-Man shenanigans.
Trying to stay on the non-vision side of the roof.
Mm-hmm. So if you guys are going from roof to roof, I would like an acrobatics check for me
Okay.
because
Yes.
there's slanted surfaces and it's a pretty steep situation that you're trying to do.
Right in my wheelhouse of -1.
Oh, damn. These dice are not on my side. I rolled an 8.
Is it acrobatics?
And yourself, Soren?
17.
Okay.
Oh boy.
So Soren, do you remember the scene of Lord of the Rings where the bridge is falling at Khazad-dûm and Legolas jumps across easily, and then Rayrel makes what appears to be a very graceful leap, but there's a wet spot on the roof, and you lose your footing at the last second,
Oh, damn.
and you're sort of hanging over the roof's edge. And then, Drew, if you've seen America's Funniest Home Videos, you do the kind of thing where you run, you take a leap at the roof, fall short, and hit your gut against the side of the roof. And,
You have to say gut right now too.
Ooh.
and you are very quickly getting close to falling. So
I just drop. Then I'll try to just drop down and land on my feet and then run. I ain't about to jump no more houses.
I mean, it's a 2-story drop.
I'm on the top of the second-story roof.
Yeah.
Yeah, you made it.
Yeah. What? Is there anything down by my feet?
Cobblestone. That down at the bottom is cobblestone.
1d6, right?
Window. There's a window to a house you don't know what's inside. Next door.
Well, I could very well die right here. I mean, I don't know any other way unless I can try to pull myself back up.
You can make an attempt. Soren is available to try and pull you back up, but
I mean,
you're a pretty big dude, and Soren's not the strongest.
He is not.
I have a strength of 14, so I will. You want me to give you a strength check to see what's up?
Athletics, I think, would work. Yeah.
As well, I'll take that.
I'll run over and try and provide what little help I can.
Okay.
So that's an 8.
Okay, so no, you are not able to pull yourself back up, and Soren, even with his best efforts, isn't able to. Your hands are slippery from the wetness that's on the roof. and you fall a. Let's see, how tall is a second story building roof? What is
Well,
that?
it all depends.
20 feet?
I was running, yeah, and I was running on the low side.
Hmm. Okay,
So,
so we'll
and
say.
I'm 6'4". I should probably. Oh man, God
So
bless
we'll
me.
say you fall 20 feet, give me 2d6 of damage.
All right, and let's see.
Oh God.
Yeah,
Oh
uh,
God.
roll. Oh, wait, how do I? Yeah, here we go. Roll 2d6.
Mhm.
That'll send me to unconsciousville.
Oh shit.
So, Soren, you try to hold on, and like his nails are digging into you, and you desperately want to keep him up on this, but it's just too much. The dude weighs too much. He's carrying his armor with him, so this is easily 200 pounds you're trying to heft, and you just can't do it. And he falls, and you hear a crunch as he hits the ground, and the man is completely unconscious. He just immediately fell unconscious with pain.
Oh shit.
Down.
Um. Can Ray Rail willingly drop down
Yeah.
and try to pick him up?
Mm-hmm. I would say that because you're making a conscious attempt to fall this, or to fall,
Uh-huh.
and you're a ranger with good enough balance, we can say I will give you only one damage for the fall. It hurts
Okay.
your ankles, but it's a pretty manageable fall for someone like you.
Okay.
So you're down with Drew.
Um. I'm gonna pick him up. Like at least try to like get him onto my shoulders.
Okay. You can do
Uh.
that, but you're slowed for it.
Yeah. I want to find somewhere to hide in the alley.
Mm-hmm.
Like maybe just like throw my cloak over us and just stay still and just like look like a
Mm.
just bunch of garbage or
Yeah.
something.
Oh, for Drew, that wouldn't be too hard. Ha ha! I'm sorry, that was me.
Uh,
Sorry.
So give me some stealth then.
okay, okay. Oh god, oh god, oh god, oh god. Natural 20. So it'll be a 26.
Okay. So goodness. So
Oh.
you go to make your play at hiding. You look around quickly, and you see sort of uh, a big sort of pile of wood and lumber and assorted pieces of scrap that have been left about. And you throw yourselves down there, and it comes to you at the last second the brilliant idea to use Drew's chainmail to sort of like place it over and make the chainmail look like it's part of the scrap heap. And so you have like a little wooden fort that you've basically got yourself in, like a little kid's fort. And you hear the mob of guards searching the area. You even feel the wood pile you're in get kicked once, but they don't find you. And in time, they sort of spread out to the point that while they are about, they aren't in a mob and they haven't found you. And there are no more guards in your immediate area.
Okay. Um. Um. I'm trying to think. I don't have a medicine kit. I have no way to bring Drew back to consciousness
Well, you can
at the
stabilize
moment.
him. Like, that's something anyone can do.
Okay, I want to like stabilize him.
So in this little wooden fort that you and Drew find yourselves in, you set his leg, and you get cool water on his head, and he comes to. And Drew, you are back at 1 HP. And yeah, I think Drew has a broken leg right now.
Oof.
Well, it certainly appears I'm going to have to heal myself. And will do so using, I believe I have Cure Light Wounds, if I'm not mistaken. Where are you, Mr. Anthony? Here are my spells. I've got Cure Wounds. It's 1d8 plus 3.
Okay, that's pretty good.
Yeah, and I think I will absolutely. I'll do that. Make sure I get the. See if I can't get the full effect here. All right, where are we at? All right. Roll 1d8. 2. So that's going to be 5 total, except there's something about. Let's see. Life domain. Whenever you use a spell to restore hit point, the creature regains additional hit point equals to 2 plus the spell's level. So back at 6.
Okay.
Nice.
And that's your full HP?
That is.
Okay. So I will say this is you heal all the damage itself, but there is sort of this discomfort that lingers. You're healed, but you're still in the pain, almost equatable to what you were before. It's like having a really bad Charlie horse that doesn't go away for
Oof.
some time.
No.
So you are back in good health though, and you can walk. It's just an uncomfortable endeavor, and you aren't even slowed any.
I'm just looking up at the top of that roof going, perhaps you will both understand I'm not the most agile. I think the ground floor will be the play next time around.
I think so. Okay.
Have we lost track of Soren? Is he here?
I
Soren's still up
think
on
he's
the roof.
still on the roof.
While this has been going on, I've been trying to kind of survey the landscape, see if I've got any kind of path on the roofs, on the roof, so that I come back down. But then also trying to just keep an eye on the movement of the guards. I'd like to see if any kind of path forward presents itself as an opening,
Okay, so
or at least one with minimal resistance.
So let's do a perception for that then.
Ooh, I'm not that good at that. It would be fun. 11.
Okay, so you look around and you do notice a pattern to the way they've spread out. And you notice that if you take the southeast path, that you will manage to get out of the city without too much issue. There is still the issue, of course, of you getting down.
Is there any kind of roof access to this home?
Fire escape.
I do not suggest you get down the way that I did, Soren.
No,
I feel like Soren. I
there's
feel like a cat in a tree at this point.
Hmm.
I don't know how I got up here and how I'm getting down.
The building does have a sort of rocky chimney, and there is a window that can be kind of swung into.
Oh, you're going Jason Bourne style right here.
So those are the two most obvious ways.
Hmm. Chimney or window? Let's try the. Let's see if I can swing into that window.
Okay, give me an acrobatics.
17 again.
Okay. And then give me an unarmed attack to see if you actually break the window or if you just splat against it.
So I think that'll be. Is that a D20 plus my no strength?
No, just like an unarmed attack. Like, we know you're going to hit this. We've already established that. We're just making sure that you break through the window and not just bounce and get off of it.
Oh, well, according to D&D Beyond, it says the damage from my unarmed strikes is 1.
So, okay, so the window strikes back. You manage to break through it, but it's glass. You cut yourself on the way through. And we'll say that you take, looking at it, you take 2 for that. So it's not a dangerous cut. It's just not good. You break into the house and you notice there is a dwarf sleeping, and that you've broken into his bedroom.
Does the dwarf remain sleeping?
He is still asleep. Yes, dwarves are heavy sleepers by nature.
I brush myself off and just saunter confidently out of the room.
Okay, no stealth check.
I'm supposed to be here.
Actually, yeah, give me a stealth check at disadvantage then if it's a confident saunter.
What is my stealth? Okay. At disadvantage. At disadvantage, that's still a 10.
Okay, so you don't wake the guy, and you manage to get down to the ground floor and out into the alleyway where your companions are, relatively unharmed and without too much noise. So,
Everyone away. Ready to go.
Let's get moving before they come back.
Yes, southeast looked from that advantageous perch. Southeast looked like the clearest route out.
All right.
and there's no major like walls or anything stopping you. So you make your way southeast, and you notice just one lone guardsman smoking a pipe standing at the edge of town. And beyond that is the farmlands and freedom to move about.
Is the gate open or closed?
There's no gate.
There's no gate. He's
No.
just sitting there.
Beyond here, there's no wall between the town and the rest of the world. So, like, once you've made it past this bit of houses, you're gone. You're out of town.
Do we just want to rush it?
Rush this fellow, you mean? Or
Just
rush
just
past him?
run past him. Just like book it.
Is
Because I feel like whatever we try to do is gonna get the guards' attention somehow.
Are you up for a sprint, Drew?
Oh boy. When it rains, it pours. Of course, of course. Shall we?
Yeah.
Okay. So you're just gonna bolt it?
Yeah, we're gonna bolt.
Okay. So you run at full speed, whizzing past the guard, and, like, as you shove past him, like, you knock the pipe out of his hands, and he's like, "Oi! I saw you! I see what you did!" And he's waving his spear all angrily, and he blows a whistle, like, and a few other guards, like, make it over there in time to see you guys running off, and The last guard is running after you at full speed, but he's not in the battle-ready shape that you folk are. And so he's huffing and he's puffing, and eventually you make it past him, and he's just on his knees huffing and huffing. And yeah, so you've made it past and you're out of town. From beyond here is dense farmlands, and then you make your way to the Aborars Hills and into the desert.
I think we're just gonna keep going until we put a good distance.
Yeah, until we just want to stop from gasping.
Yeah.
Excellent. Alright, I'm gonna take a pause real quick then, and we'll.
All right. Oof. It could have gone worse. I'm just saying, it could have gone a lot worse.
Just remember, in the Greyhawk Olympics, it's a 1 million way tie because everybody's movement is 30 feet. There is no winner in the Greyhawk Olympics.
I'm just, when it's like, oh, there's no gate to open, we can just rush past him. Like, I don't want to talk because he's probably, like, the guards were going to get alerted regardless of what we did, I feel. So I'm like, let's just run.
And hopefully they just got bored with it. It was like, fuck it. Let them run out. Just don't let them run in.
Right.
So, yeah. No, Drew on his gimpy ankle now. What the hell, man? God, I was looking at that going, oh, here comes his -1 dex. Here we go. I should have just bolted out the back door and said, bye, Felicia. You're on your own. There's no way. Oh, man. He must have thwacked his head pretty good on the ground.
Yeah.
Soren does not come up with the best ideas. He comes up with exciting ideas.
Yeah. Oh, man.
I'm just really glad I rolled a natural 20 on that hide.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just like, what? Oh, I hope this works.
Yeah, because the rest of the episode's a prison episode. I'm going to grab a drink. Be right back.
All right. You all right?
Oh. Good.
Yep, all back now.
Awesome. Breathing is important.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and we're back. Hi there.
Woo!
Okay, so do not worry, Patrick. Nobody heard me dying. I made sure to mute that audio. If I'm going to be competent today at least once, I'll be competent. Don't you worry. Okay. So you've made your way out of the city.
Mm-hmm.
And what are your rations looking like? How are you for food and water and things like that?
Let's see. I have some rations, and I can probably hunt and forage along the way.
Mhm.
It looks like smugglers only start with a day of rations, so I probably ate that on the first boat ride. And
Mhm.
Well, that all depends. Did they supply the food on the boat, or
No,
were we on our own?
I
you
think my
solely
skeezy
on your
cousin
own.
told us that. Yeah.
Then I have like 3 days left.
Okay, so let's mark off two
Oh,
days
I
of
lied.
food from each of you, because for the first 2 days you're passing through farmlands and little hamlets and nothing major for the most part. Um, and things seem pretty okay. Uh, the land eventually starts to get a bit more jagged. The flatlands begin to give way to rocky, craggy hills, and you eventually find yourself in the hills of Aborzals, or however it's called. And so, in this new environment, you eventually come across a friendly face, or what can be considered friendly to you. And you see a very haggard and distressed gnome looking fella.
Oh.
And he's just
uh,
sitting on a log, also smoking pipeweed, and it's very popular around here. But he looks thoroughly upset.
Friend, glad to see you made it out of town as well.
How'd you get out?
we ran.
Yes. On our feet, like normal travelers.
We just
How
bribed the
did
gods. It was pretty easy, honestly. But I have a bit of a problem, you see. D-
really?
well, okay. Listen, I know we got off on the wrong foot.
Your spider tried to take my leg.
Did it? That wasn't my spider, and I had nothing to do with that.
It's sure. Of course it
Hmm.
was.
Mm. Well, bygones be bygones, of course, because you nearly killed me by having a horse trample over me. So, we'll call it even, yes?
I mean,
I suppose.
Come on, we're on the same side.
Are we?
We're looking for the same thing, at least.
those
Doesn't
two not
necessarily mean we're
one.
on the same side.
Mm. Well, either way,
What
I have a bit
troubles
of
you
a,
now?
I have a bit of a problem, my dear friends. One of my party members has gone missing,
Hmm.
and if you could be so kind as to help me out, I know where they are. Uh, I
Then are they missing if you know where they are?
isn't she the clever one? Listen, I'm trying to ask you for help. Please don't make me demean myself further by making myself look like more of an idiot than I happen to be. All I'm trying to say is that I would like your help in getting them out of the situation they have found themselves in.
And what sort of situation would that be?
Mm,
Trying to take out the ginormous earplugs from listening to you.
I'll have you know, I'm a sparkling conversation, and all the apprentices of the Thieves Guild love me.
Uh-huh.
Do go on.
But, no, the situation we have found him in is that a bit of a sinkhole has opened up in the ground. Come, let me show you, let me show you.
Yes, lead us over to this giant precarious.
I assure you it is not a trap. If I were to make a trap, I would make it less obvious. So, and he jostles you towards about 100 feet down the pathway. The roads are quite thin here, and the hill gets steep on either side. But yeah, as he says, there is a sinkhole that is open, and on one end you see the a man and the half orc, members of the Thieves Guild, and their cart, and on the other half is the gnome. And between them, a 50-foot sinkhole has opened up in the ground. Taking
Like
in
50, is it 50 foot deep or 50 foot across?
50 foot across. It looks almost like 30 or 40 feet deep.
Okay.
So I have not been able to find a safe purchase and an easy way across. So until we can get through here and rescue my party members, it appears you're trapped here as well, unless you want to walk backwards for a day and then forwards for a day and generally use up 3 more days trying to get around it.
3 more days it is. Shall we?
What is 3 days?
Nah. And Drew's gonna turn and start walking.
Where
It's a bluff, though. He's hoping that he's gonna get something out of it.
they had 4 members before, right?
They
Was one
have
of them?
they have 4 members, yes. Half orc,
Do we
2
see?
humans, and the gnome.
Do we see a human body at the bottom of this?
Uh, the sinkhole eventually narrows into what appeared to be a cave system, and you don't see anything aside from the beginnings of a cave system.
Mm.
Lovely.
So, Drew's starting to march away. What do you two do?
I think I'm gonna follow Drew.
Mm-hmm. And yourself?
Condolences.
I don't trust these guys
Mm.
at all.
And yourself, Soren?
Oh, yes. Well, our condolences to your friend.
Rude.
Goodbye.
Okay. And you leave them. And so you make your way southward instead of the eastward path they were taking. And eventually,
What I would,
what's
if it's okay with you, DM, I was kind of thinking maybe we could find a spot with which to observe them for a day.
okay? What do you?
Ask the party if that's okay.
Yeah, what's your player's
Sure.
calls on that?
I'm okay with that.
Yes, of course. If
Okay.
nothing else, some entertainment.
I just want to like be sure they were like actually stuck, or we're gonna
Yep.
get
Exactly.
played.
You watch them, and as it does seem to play out, like they try different things, but they do seem to be mostly stuck here.
I mean, this works in our favor,
It certainly does.
and they stuck a giant spider on us. Do we really want to help them?
I mean, beyond helping them, I'm not sure that I
Yeah.
was. If one sinkhole, if there's so little structural engineering formed, who knows how many more?
True. we help them out of this one, and then they might get stuck by another. I think we should just continue on our way.
Okay. So you continue on your way and you head south. And eventually you see before you get to the desert, you do run into a problem in that your food supplies begin to run quite low. And, Raverell, you said you could forage, yes?
Yeah, I can forage and hunt.
I would say, is there a skill related to that?
I've got survival and I've got nature.
Let's say survival then. Let's see
Okay.
how you
Survival
can
is
do.
directly related to hunting.
And I will say this is whereas you're a forest ranger by training, yes, Rayro?
Yes.
So I would say that you are going to have some difficulty here, as this is not what you are used to for foraging. As these are
Okay.
instead like craggy hills.
Okay. Let's see. I rolled a 14 for survival.
Okay, so you manage to get enough food to limp by on, and then another day goes by, and now you're short on water as well. And so this survival check is going to get even harder.
Okay. 17.
Okay. And you manage to find a little brook, and you manage to limp by once more. And you see the cusp of the desert before you. And then the strangest thing starts to happen. It begins to rain very, very heavily.
Huh.
A swampy, thick rain. And this is right around the time night is approaching for your camp. So it's raining and the wind is blowing and the thunder is striking. And as you set up the tents as you normally do for camp, the sandy soil just doesn't find purchase with your attempts to set down the tents. And you have basically two options: find a new form of shelter or be blustered about by the rain and the wind and be exposed to the elements, because your tents are not going to be set up in conditions like this.
Maybe we could look for like an outcropping of rocks, like some sort of structure that we could like nestle down between until it clears up.
As high as we can.
Yeah.
Okay, so on the map, I would say you are right at the south western edge of Abor Owls, and
Okay.
you go and you try and find a little rocky outcropping, and there are some places, and eventually you find a little hole in the wall that seems to be fairly well guarded from the elements.
Cool. We'll just nestle in there and wait for the storm to pass.
Mm-hmm. And so, in the midst of the night, while all is quiet, Soren, you are awoken from your slumber. Rayrell's doing her weird meditation thing that you don't quite understand, and Drew is sleeping like a rock, like he normally does. And you see sort of something you didn't notice before on this little cave. You notice sort of a metal door at the back of it.
A metal door.
Mm-hmm. You're not sure.
Oh, I'm walking.
You're not sure if it's real or if you're just seeing things, but it is a strange sight to behold.
I will go up and knock on it and see if it feels real.
So, the door's architecture is weird to boot. It isn't like something you would see, a human or a dwarf make. The architecture of it is very flowing. The door doesn't have a lot of corners or areas where it's very straight-laced, and it has patterns of swirling shapes and strange eyes upon it. So, the door, as you knock on it, sort of, you can tell there's something not quite arcane, but something is up with the door. And you knock on it, and it does not seem to be locked. It seems to have rusted to the point where the door no longer can stay closed quite easily.
Just kind of running my hand along the defarking door.
Hmm. What languages do you know?
I know common, dwarvish, and
Okay. So, there's definitely nothing that you can tell to be human language on this door. But there is script, and it's a very peculiar looking one. And aside from that, that's all you can gather from the door just by touching it and looking at it.
I. You said it's already kind of like rusting open
Yes.
because it's. I will absolutely try to peek inside.
So you peek inside, and much the way the door is metal, the hallway beyond is also made of a dense metal-like sub or material. And the metal it feels like steel. It looks kind of like steel, but it has sort of that rainbowy or kind of flowing, oily black look to it that doesn't quite make it seem like it's steel. And then beyond there, the pathway is too dark to tell what it is.
Okay.
What do you do, Soren?
Sorry, I think the audio was cutting out. Just
Okay, sorry about that.
it's dark inside. The walls are shiny and kind of this weird, dark, reflective, almost rainbow sheen to it.
Yes.
And it's too dark to see to make out any objects. I'm just
Yes, it's too dark to make out anything truly noteworthy.
well, I'll try shooting just a fireball at the wall, just a little, just at least before it hits the metal to highlight a little bit with light.
Okay. So, you throw a little fireball downwards, and eventually you can tell that the hallway makes a turn, and the strange metal continues onwards, but your fireball hits the turn and splatters against the wall, sending little licks of flame outwards.
Soren is so. He is not a smart boy, and he is so tempted to go what's on his own.
Do I hear any of this? Because my passive perception's like 14.
Um, you you can tell that Soren is awake, and in your trance, you know that Soren's up and moving about, but you can't tell much beyond that.
Okay.
I'm not sure how many times I've tried to snap Rayrel out of a trance before, but I feel like I'd still be awkward about it. So,
Mm-hmm.
Rayrel, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Um, wake up, Drew. We've got something to explore. Something exciting is in this cave.
Exciting.
I mean,
There's...
we've got a mysterious metal flowy door that I don't recognize any sort of symbology from.
Huh. I think Rayrell's gonna go up to the door
Mm-hmm.
and, like, does she recognize any of the languages or anything?
What languages does she speak?
She speaks Common, Elvish, and Sylvan.
You can tell that it's maybe vaguely adjacent to Sylvan in that there might be a few borrow words amongst the script,
Mm-hmm.
but it's far too foreign for you to tell like accurately what's being said there.
Okay.
Should we wake up our holy man?
Might as well.
Soren is half in and half out of the door already, just itching to go.
Rayrell goes to wake Drew.
Okay. Drew, you've just been awoken, and your other two party members are up and very interested in something.
Immediately reach for my mace, trying to clear my eye.
Mm-hmm. And, well, you guys handle it. What do you tell him about the door? Like, what do you have his attention? What are you doing with him?
Is there trouble?
Soren found a door
In
the
the
back
middle
of
of
the
the
cave.
hills? In a door in this? How unusual.
You haven't even seen the door yet.
Hmm.
It's something else.
Well, how far away is this door?
I'm in it at the moment.
Oh, well,
Right over here, friend.
well, give me a moment. And Drew is gathering his things,
Mm-hmm.
putting his bedroll back tight. Soren's gonna be mad, but it takes him like 10 minutes.
Soren is like a kid that's just waiting for their parents so they can leave and go somewhere.
And whatever fire there was, he stamps it out, make sure there's no embers.
Mm-hmm.
Then only once everything's in order will Drew go to where Soren is standing.
So, the first thing you notice is this does not feel safe. There is something a little fucky with this door. And I would assume that Drew would be more suspicious of it than Soren, but that is entirely your call.
Well, understanding what I've just heard and what I'm feeling, I will be very careful. And Soren, I'm not liking the aura of this door, my friend.
Yes, Dad, fine. And I cast Mage Armor on myself and just kick in.
Oh my god.
All right.
So yeah, there's There's a dark hallway beyond that goes to places that none of you can quite tell because
Oh
it is
boy.
not brightly lit.
Uh, I guess we have to follow him. Can't let him venture off on his own.
Mhm.
True. And I'd like to have some light so I may see this time, if I may.
Mhm.
Of course.
So I'll get one of my mini torches out and light her up.
Mhm. Okay, so you've got your little ball of light. So Soren's first up, and then who's following in it behind him? Because it's only about a 5 foot wide passageway.
I'll stay behind Drew.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm trying to provide light. I don't know if Soren can see in the dark or not. He
Oh
doesn't
no.
know.
You saw that he only got to like the first turn before
Yeah.
he stopped.
Gotcha. All right. So yeah. So I'll walk up. Drew will walk up to Soren and give him the torch.
Okay. So you keep heading down the passageway, and it splits into two different pathways, each one having what appeared to be some sort of mechanical door there before, but no longer having such.
Hmm.
Drew's will just look at Soren. Your call.
The place, might I add, feels moist, like a shower or a steam room. But this moist doesn't feel like the kind of, alleviating. It's very dreadful and oppressive.
I'm gonna cast bless
Fair
on the
enough.
party.
Okay, so that's a D4, right?
Yep.
Added to
Yep.
That's saving throws and attack rolls, I think.
Yep. That's
So-
it. So roll a d4 each. Well, I suppose I should roll one as well.
4.
There you go.
Do we roll a d4 each time, or do we just roll?
No, it's just one that you get to use You get to use it.
Okay, so
I think it's concentration.
Drew
It is.
basically comes up and gives each of you a little symbol of Cuthbert on each of your wrists, and it definitely feels to add a more positive feeling to the room. But it's still not a great situation you're finding yourselves in.
So with the option of going.
Oh wait. Yeah, you guys are right. Yeah. I'm sorry, I read the spell wrong. Just whenever a target makes an attack roll or a saving throw before the spell ends, the target can roll a d4 and add the number rolled to the attack roll or saving throw. So there you go.
Okay.
There you go. So do what you will with it. But like Cuthbert himself, I will
So
see in his. Now go
yes.
on and smite everything in your path.
So the path breaks left and forward, and you have one of these two options ahead.
I mean, Soren's leading. I don't think I can see much past them.
Mm-hmm.
He will. First turn. Let's go to the left.
Okay. So you turn left, and it's your characters wouldn't quite get this, but it's something like out of like the Matrix or something, where you see two pods of this green vile liquid and these very alien looking humanoid creatures sort of floating about inside it. It looks like there was once another pod, but it's been broken open a long time ago. And there's strange tools of trades that you don't quite understand, sort of arrayed out on tables that ring the room. and it looks to be some sort of like black metal, like alien laboratory like feeling to it, with pipes of this green goo going about the place, and beakers and all that sort.
I'm suddenly feeling that this is not the kind of exciting I was hoping for.
Yeah, Drew wants no part of this abomination.
This is really unnatural.
Do the pod people seem to be moving in the...
They seem to be very not moving.
Huh. Perhaps we should leave?
Well,
Absolutely.
I mean, yes, I agree. To the other hallway.
Oh my god.
And you hear one of the pod people like gently banging at the glass, like a very like tapping on the glass at a fishbowl, kind of like doo doo. And one of them is stirring.
Oh no.
Do we have a good view of them we're at, or are we just seeing kind of silhouette?
You can tell that this is a like light blue sort of webbed, like somewhat webbed hand with black fingernails attached to a creature that is deep in the green goo, and you cannot quite tell what they are.
Backing up now.
Yeah. Oh, let's get out of here.
And then you see a face press against the glass, and it's got bright yellow eyes and a ray of tentacles draped down its chin and covering what would be a mouth. And it looks like it's had its head caved in at one point somewhere. And it's just looking at you, Soren. It's just looking at you.
Yeah. Nope. I grab Soren and we're booking it.
Yep.
Get the hell out of here, man.
And then
We are.
so
We're young and dumb. We don't know what these things are.
so
Nope.
so are you heading south now, or to leave the facility, or heading further into it with the other passageway?
I want to get the fuck out of here. Whatever this shit is, I want nothing to do with it.
So it's been a while since you've gone to the doorway, and when you come back to it, it's been closed, and it is locked tight.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
And this black steel does not seem to yield to any, like, pushes or shoves or anything you try to do to open it.
Soren, what the fuck have you gotten us into?
I mean, I feel like, to be fair, I didn't pick the cave. That feels a little like you're putting it on me.
You opened the door.
I mean, the door was already open. It was a jar.
Oh my god. Oh god.
Wait, is Rayrel claustrophobic?
No, she's just in a really weird spot.
That's fair enough.
She is not familiar with this at all.
This weird.
In her
artificial-
369 years of life, she has never seen anything like this.
That must be such a novel experience, and also terrifying.
Yes.
You hear words suddenly. You hear facility reopened.
Was that?
No, you hear
Does
like the
that mean that door's open again?
No, you hear that the seal has been broken, unleashing from cryogenic freeze. And you hear sound coming from the other room as a
It's like, what are these words?
I'm gonna pull on the door.
The
Does
door
this door
is
even
still locked up tight.
What are these words?
Right.
Cryo.
What?
And you guys are you in the hallway, or is Soren and Drew still in the main building for the facility room?
I think we all went back down to that door to see if we can get the hell out.
Mm.
Yeah.
I've been gradually inching my way north as that door seems to be super locked.
Well, you hear sort of the sound of wet skin walking
Ugh.
across metal, like a slappy wet meat sound. And
Oh god.
here they are, and you see these beings just covered in nasty green goo, and you do actually realize something about them, Rayrel.
Uh-huh.
As someone who has studied weird nature and things like that, you firmly know that these things are not fucking natural.
Uh-huh.
And let's see, does Soren know anything? Soren wouldn't know anything.
Soren does not know a lot of things.
Drew, you also do firmly know that these things are not fucking natural, and they are making their way downtown and towards you.
Ravel's just gonna draw her swords. Just stand there.
Perhaps some relocation is in order.
Yeah, where are we going? The door is locked.
Seems like one direction left to me then.
Fine.
I mean, the entrance door seems to find our cave. I'm sure the
Mm-hmm.
I guess we could try for another exit.
Okay. I would like all of you to give me a roll for initiative. And
Oh, shit.
what do you say? It's about time to quit, so would you like to leave it as a cliffhanger here? Or would you like to try and see how far we can get into this encounter?
I don't like the idea of leaving off a session mid-combat. So I think we can get the initiative sorted now, and we pick up from there next week.
Okay, excellent.
Yes.
I feel like combat's a little strong. We don't know that they may
God damn it. I rolled a 10.
Hey, look at me. 18 initiative.
Woo! 21.
Yeah, you guys beat all of them.
Well, we'll see what that even means.
So yeah, let's see how our heroes do in this strange new situation they found themselves in.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, fuck. We're fighting aliens.
And yeah, I think that this has been From Beyond Oerth. And Liz and Patrick and Kevin, it's been great seeing y'all again. And we'll see our session next time. Hopefully we won't have these tech issues and we'll be able to get things more streamlined, yeah?
Yes.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Looking forward.
Looking forward to it too, folks. Bye-bye. Goodbye, Twitch.